Hello, 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 and welcome back to another episode of the Triple Threat Podcast. Happy 2024, Happy New Year. It's a new year, it's a new me, and we are back. We are back and better than ever. Alrighty, I am so excited because I know I'm a little bit late with this one, but the first couple of weeks of January has actually been quite busy for me. How's it been for ye? How have you been? Are you good? Is everyone good? Everyone good? Everyone nice? Everyone get the snacks? Yes, yes. Sorry. But yeah, no, yes. 2024 has been a great start for me. I've been working a lot recently. And I've been a lot more social. Oh my god, these past 3 weeks I've been out and drinking more than I was in the last quarter of 2023 at all. It's actually crazy. I am having a fantastic time. I really am. Yeah, because I'm getting a lot of auditions that I really like. A lot of recalls are happening, which never happened before. And so and everything's good. My friends are friendly, and it's all G. Yes. Um, I went to America for the Christmas holidays, which was so nice. And I actually saw a lot when I was over there, and I'll talk about them in later episodes. But I just want to talk about what I think. I'm going to start. So this episode is going to be about my top 10 films of the year. I've released it on Twitter, on Instagram. I've released it. People have seen it, but now I'm going to talk about each one. And a couple of my friends have asked me to do my worst. I have to look and remember what films, because a lot of films I saw last year, I liked them. There was only I think maybe 3 films that I didn't like. And even then, one of them, I actually didn't find it bad. It was just eh. But I'm going to talk about, I was in America with my parents for the Christmas holidays, and me and my mum decided to go see The Color Purple, the new musical version of the 1985 Steven Spielberg film. And we were in the back row, but first off, great film, extraordinary performances, the music is stunning, it's beautifully directed, beautifully acted. I do think that the original film is slightly better. I don't know, just the character wise. I feel like the character of Mister is a lot more of an asshole in the original, and he's given too much of a redemption in this one. But we were in the cinema, me and my mom, and we were in the back, kind of middle, maybe more back, and there were this row of 13 to 14-year-old girls, about 5 of them, and they were one of the worst theater etiquette people I've ever seen in my life. The entire time they were on their phone, brightness all the way up and getting down, going to the bathroom, going to get snacks, and they almost talked throughout the whole entire film. But a woman stood up during the first 10 minutes of the film and was like, "You girls need to be quiet." And I was just like, props to you, mama. Because it actually got to the stage, because I don't know, unless it's something outrageous or continuous, I won't say anything. I'll just try to ignore them, try and block them out. But it got to the point where I was almost going to be like, "You gals need to shut the fuck up." What is going on with cinema etiquette? I touched on this briefly in my other episodes, people coming in late, people, I understand bringing in outside food, because, yes, cinema food is wicked expensive. It's so expensive, and it doesn't need to be that expensive. So, yeah, bring in your own food. But bringing in, McDonald's, or, a fucking kebab, or, Taco Bell, or just bringing in stuff that, stinks, no, don't do it. But these girls, an average cinema ticket in America is $19 to $22. All 5 of these girls paid $22 each. They probably got it discounted because they were under 15 or whatever, so they're probably paying $15. But they did not watch any of the film. They didn't watch any of it. Why are you here? Now look, I understand a lot of films aren't to people's taste. Like, some people find some films boring, yada yada yada, whatever. But to, like, if you're buying a ticket, whether or not you hate it or love it or you just find it meh, sit down and watch the film. Even if I hate a film, the only time I will ever go onto my phone is if I don't have my watch on to check the time. Like, oh, that reminded me when I saw The Crucible last year with a bunch of my friends. Shout out Joy, who was in The Crucible. And we had these adult people in front of us, 2 women and 1 man, who were like shopping online during the film. Like, fuck you if you ever feel the need to go onto your phone for anything else other than checking the time. And I'm so serious. I do not care if you have to check your phone calls or check your messages. Do not check your phone when you're watching theater or cinema or anything. It is just so rude and so disrespectful, and especially on stage, we can see that shit from a mile off. The slightest, even if it's on the lowest setting, we can still see it. You're not hiding it. Sorry, I was just sipping some tea. Yeah, but these girls, oh my god. And there was this one bit where it got to a really emotional climax of the film, and these girls just, like, they kept on standing up saying goodbye to one of their friends because she had to go. And I was just like, oh my god, you are literally ruining the, like, emotional climate. Oh my god. Just, like, like, I've seen some bad stuff, but this was bad. And just doesn't even make sense to me. Like, why would you even bother? Like, there are some people who go to the cinema regularly and, like, this is nothing to them. There are some people who never go to the cinema, and they only go once. Once every even 6 months, or even, like, people who rarely go. They only go on occasion. And you've ruined this occasion for them? Go fuck yourselves. Like, ugh. My god. Like, thank God for those cinema workers. I swear to Jesus. Putting everyone in their place. Ugh, no, it just annoys me. Ugh, like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? No. Never. Anyway, that happened to me over the holidays. Color Purple, amazing film. I'll get more into it in another episode. But now, I'm going to talk about my top 10 films of the year 2023. Let's review. 2023, I think, because 2022 was a spectacular year for cinema. Like, even if you look at, like, the lineup for Best Picture in the Oscars, it was a fantastic year. This year was good. Like, I feel like there were a bunch of consistently good films. Like, 2023 was consistent. Like, yeah, 2023 consistently had good films being released or put on streaming, or even theater and TV shows. Like, it just kept going. Like, there were no real down points of it. Like, even, yeah. Before I go into my top 10, sorry, because I have on my Instagram story the movies that didn't make the list. That I loved, but unfortunately there were 10 that I thought did slightly better. Here we go. Okay, so these films I thought were really good. Oh, The Color Purple's on there. Color Purple, great movie. Go see it. The Holdovers, I saw that over Christmas. And it's so annoying. Sorry. No, The Holdovers is incredible. It's going to win a bunch of Oscars, and I'll get into more detail about the film later in another episode. The UK is so weird, because we get such a delayed thing, especially in the last quarter of the year, of film releases. I only saw Poor Things with Emma Stone like 3 days ago, and that film's been out in America since November. And The Holdovers as well. The Holdovers has been out in... Sorry, I'm just muting my phone. The Holdovers has been out since like December, and it's only being released next week. So they're like, it's so annoying. So unless I pirate the films, because I don't know about you, but I'm such a stickler. I'm very pedantic in where the films I watch for the year of 2023, I have to have watched it in the year between January 1st of 2023 to December 31st of 2023. So I don't really include the films that, because I released my list on December 31st. Or actually, this year I released it earlier because I was quite busy and didn't have time to do it. So like there are 4 movies like Poor Things, the All of Us Strangers, a bunch of other films that I wouldn't be able to include in my top 10 list because I saw it 2024. Which I know people are just like, well, why don't you just include it? You just write off January as like 2023. I don't know. It's just, I don't know. I like doing my own thing. But the films I saw in 2023 that didn't make the list was The Color Purple, The Holdovers, Nimona, which is a Netflix animated film, which is really fucking brilliant. Anatomy of a Fall, which is it a foreign language film? It's an international film, definitely. But it's spoken, like, there's a lot of English speaking in it. And then they also speak French in it. But, yeah. Maestro, Maestro's weird. Maestro has a lot of, has a lot of hate against it. But I think it's because there are other performances that people think were more deserving of, like, nominations and awards. But I loved Maestro. I thought Maestro was very compelling. I thought the 2 lead actors in it did a phenomenal job, especially Carey Mulligan. Carey Mulligan was truly spectacular in that film. The Marvels, the MCU film with Brie Larson. I loved that film. I thought it was so fun, so great, just a good time, just a fun, campy, good time. Like, yeah. Elemental, the Pixar film. I love that. Had such a good time watching it. May December, the film with Julianne Moore and Natalie Portman. Saltburn. I feel like I have to spend an episode just talking about Saltburn. I'll do it with probably one of my friends. Also, this is a solo episode. Hey. Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Love that. One of the best. It's the best of the trilogy. Bottoms, which is just so crazy, so chaotic, so crazy, so fun. Just loved every second of it. The new Hunger Games film, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. Dungeons and Dragons, which I was just like, that came out in 2023? That felt like it came out 2 years ago. But no, yeah, 2023. March, yeah. Wonka, loved Wonka. I thought it was so fun and campy and sweet. Obviously, the Taylor Swift movie. Loved it. Red, White, and Royal Blue, which is a gay rom-com, campy, stupid, bad, fun. The Boy and the Heron, which is beautiful. Absolutely stunning. And one of the films which I was really debating putting on the list, and I talked about it in my last episode, but the Leo, the Adam Sandler, it was almost about to make it, but then there were some other films that I saw that I think were more deserving. Even though I fucking loved Leo. I still watch it. But, yeah, those were my films that didn't quite make the list. Now, I think it's time we discuss the top 10. And we're going to start at number 10. I just need to take a little sip of my tea. We'll probably edit out that pregnant pause. Okay, number 10. Number 10 of my top films of 2023 goes to Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Mutant Mayhem. This. So, I am a big. I've realized that I am actually a huge Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle fan. I grew up more with the 2012 iteration of it, which was like the 3D animated one that was mainly on Nickelodeon. But then I would watch other episodes of like the one in like 2007, 2008 of the 2D animated one with like the spaceships. I love Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I don't know. There's something fascinating about them. But this movie, Mutant Mayhem, what they got right was that they got children, actual teenagers, to voice the turtles, and made them actual teenagers instead of like late teens, early 20s kind of characters, more mature. And it was so funny. Like some of the lines, and the voice acting across the board was amazing. Like Ice Cube as Superfly, Paul Rudd as Mondo Gecko, Jackie Chan as Master Splinter. So good. And it's so funny as well. And the animation is so unique. Such unique animation, which I think Nickelodeon does really well. It like when Nickelodeon wants to do something unique style-wise, they'll fully fund it, which is amazing to see. I'm so tired of seeing like the clean Disney, like, do you know what I mean? Like clean, pristine, big eyes. Like I want to see like rough, grimy, stylized cartoon characters. Sorry, I was just drinking. I had so much fun watching this. I saw it in the cinema, and sorry, one of the jokes that really got me was when they're driving in the car. It actually happens one after the other. Wait, and there's a third one that I'll explain. So they're in the car with Superfly, and Superfly reveals his big scheme, and they're trying to like find a way to thwart his plan, and they're listening to "Hey yeah 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 yeah, hey yeah yeah, I say what's going on," but they slam on the brakes and cause the car to crash, and it goes into the slow motion then car chase to the tune of the "What's going on," this like super like dubstep version. Hysterical. Perfect song for a chase sequence. And then during that chase sequence, because Superfly talks about how he mollywopped, which means to beat the shit out of humans who didn't like the way he looked. And Superfly comes in and is like trying to stop the turtles, and he starts beating him. And one of the turtles, I think it's Donatella, he just goes, now he's mollywopping me! He's mollywopping me! And then the other one is throughout the whole entire film, Splinter is always just like, humans are bad, they're gonna milk you for your sustenance. And then they actually do get milked, which is hysterical. But they're talking about, but humans aren't all bad. Yes, sure, one of them tried to milk us. And one of the background characters just goes, wait, they did what now? Oh, stupid. It's so stupid. It's so silly. I don't know where it's on streaming here, because it should be on Paramount Plus. It's on Paramount Plus in America. I don't know where it's going to end up here in the UK. Ugh. The whole distribution thing of streaming thing is just so fucking stupid. I hate it. I have to have like 7 or 6 streaming services just to watch most of the films I like. Anyway, that's number 10. Number 9 is Chicken Run: Dawn of the Nugget, the sequel to the first Chicken Run. I've already spoken about this in another episode that was released. But I will say,
I watched it 3 more times over the holidays, and it wasn't going to be on my list, but after I watched it like twice or 3 times more, I loved it. So funny, so pretty. With, like, like what I said before, the only downside was that it kept on just cracking these old jokes about what happened in the past. After the third or second time, it's not that bad as I thought. So that's why, on my list, it is at number 9. That's Chicken Run, Dawn of the Nugget. Short summary, it's fucking hysterical, and it's brilliant, and I love these chickens. I would go to death. I would go to battle for these chickens. But my full in-depth review is in my other episode that you can listen to if you like. Now, number 8. Yes. Number 8. Now, people might be shocked at how low on the list this is. But number 8 is Oppenheimer. Oppenheimer... Did I talk about this in another episode? I think I did talk about this in an episode. I did. That you can listen to. But I'll make this short. Oppenheimer, yes. Is it a good film? Yes. Is it a great film? Yes. Is it a memorable, fantastic film? To some extent, yes. It's probably going to win Best Picture at the Oscars, if we're being serious. It's the classic. Christopher Nolan's time has come. It was perfectly placed. I think, yes, Oppenheimer will probably win Best Picture. And, yes, it deserves its place on the list. Why it's so low, I think, like I said before, the last hour of Oppenheimer, although some of the qualities of it was very good, there were just some bits that felt like they were repeating information to us just to make sure we get it. And I felt like it just dragged on a tiny bit. And that was my only quarrel with Oppenheimer. I like genuinely great performances across the board. But still the women characters are severely underwritten. The script itself, in regards to the creation of the bomb and all that stuff, is brilliant. The direction is incredible. The score is iconic, and the whole thing of Oppenheimer is brilliant. It's like Robert Downey Jr. is probably going to get the Oscar as well. I don't know who else would get the Oscar. No, I think it's Robert Downey Jr. Yeah, unless something happens in the next couple of things, but it's going to be Robert Downey Jr. for the supporting actor. But yeah, I don't have much to say more about Oppenheimer. I think it was a great film. Yeah. Great film all around. Does it deserve all the awards and all that stuff? I think so. Yeah, maybe. I'll talk more about that later. Number 7 is the horror film Talk to Me. Now, this film I saw on Netflix. I didn't watch it in the cinema, which I regret doing. The concept for this film, as a horror film, is so innovative. It's so simple, yet so brilliant. And the way they concoct and get through the story of this, like, through line is amazing. Like, I loved every second of it. There were some genuine scares in it. And there were some genuine twists and turns. Excuse me, I think I'm gonna sneeze. And like I said, it was just it was so thrilling as well. And it's so amazing to see this film with such a small budget get its flowers and get its commercial success. And the acting in this was just tenfold. This, like, with just the whole concept of this hand, this stone hand connecting you to these devils, to these ghosts, and one day it accidentally latches onto you, and causes mayhem. Brilliant. I loved it. It's on Netflix. Please go see it. It's truly spectacular. It's just such a good show. Excuse me. Yeah, no. Wait, number 10, 9, 8, 7. We were at number 7. Ha! Now, number 6, we have Killers of the Flower Moon. I've talked about this film before. So I'll just make it quick. Fantastic. Deserves every single nomination and award it's getting. I think that it is a battle between Lily Gladstone and Emma Stone of Poor Things, between Best Actress. I personally think that Lily Gladstone should get the Oscar. Not just because... Well, I personally think that the performance is somewhat better than in Poor Things, even though both performances are incredible. Emma Stone is amazing. She already has an Oscar for her thing, and she is an iconic person who has had her flowers and keeps getting her flowers. I think Lily Gladstone deserves the recognition and deserves the award for this performance, because I think she is a superstar. And yeah, no, this film, the ending is truly haunting. Like, this film is worth all the hype, in my opinion. And I've talked about this before. The 3.5 hour runtime, it breezes by. So that's number 6. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So that's number 6. So at number 5, we have The Little Mermaid. The Little Mermaid remake that came out earlier this year. Like, I talked about this before. It was such a good remake. They hit all the beats. They casted it perfectly. The musical numbers that they did do were their own way good, but still an homage to the original. And the new songs, all around, they were quite good. Like, even the new Lin-Manuel Miranda rap, was just a lot of fun. Yeah, I saw this in the cinema 3 times. And each time I cried during Part of Your World by Halle Bailey. It was so good. Yeah. And it just proved all of this toxic online fandom bullshit wrong. Like, all this blah, 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 Little Mermaid, this, that's not my mermaid, whatever. This movie proved them wrong. And proved that, like... And it also proved that, like, you know... do we need these, like, live-action remakes? Is this just a cash cow for Disney? Yes and no, in a way. Yes, as in, it is an easy thing to do. Like to just do a live-action version of your own material. Yes, that's some would consider that quite an easy thing to just manage. But there are some that are good, and there's some that are quite bad. Some that are very, very bad. But this one, The Little Mermaid, I think just goes to show that if you are going to remake it, do it in a way that's an homage, but is just constantly evolving. You could homage to the original, but you need to evolve with the times. And I think they truly succeeded with this version of The Little Mermaid. Sorry, just drinking some tea. That's number 5. Ha ha! Number 4, we have Rye Lane. Rye Lane is a romantic comedy set in Peckham, where I live, so I might be a bit biased.
Um, it's a British film, and I just don't know like how to articulate because it's so sweet and so endearing and just comforting of a film. This film, like, and it's so funny as well. Like, I was laughing out loud at some of the bits. Like, and some of the scenes, not only funny, but some scenes were, like, very dramatic as well. And just watching something being filmed in a town where you live is so surreal, and watching it. And having them not only film it, but represent it in a good light. Like, it showed Peckham in a really like positive light, which it is. Peckham is a great town, but some people would disagree. Think but and just the romantic storyline between the two main characters, and the acting between the two main actors is just so it was just so good, and it was such a feel good film. I think it'll be one for the ages. Like, I think it'll become a British like rom-com standards in 5 or 10 years. Like, we'll look back on this and just be like, remember this film? This film is so great. Yeah. And just the premise of it is so simple. Just two people meeting at an art gallery and like just discovering who each of them are through like little walks and just hanging out in Peckham. And then just two people happen to meet each other, and then they just go on these little journey together, and then discover that they like each other. And it was so weird because I saw this film in Peckhamplex, and there was a scene that was literally in Peckhamplex, which was just a weird kind of like almost fourth wall breaking kind of thing, which I don't know, I just found that quite fascinating. Rye Lane, I loved it. Now, number 3, I've already spoken about this film. Number 3 is Past Lives. Past Lives, like I said before, this film just like changed me and like what I think of my past relationships, whether it be good or bad, and just how we live for the moments of what could have been, and how we should see it as a positive, but there still is a great sadness in it. Some would argue that this film is just very much nothing happens, but I disagree. I think everything happens in this film. To show the lives of these two people who were, in some cases, meant for each other since childbirth. Well, not childbirth, but since they were children. But it just didn't work out in their way, and they both led different lives, but they still would intertwine with each other. And I love how it showed her husband that she married as such a cool dude. Like, they have such an honest and great communication with each other that the lady was just like, so this guy, I had something with him. There was something between us. There's nothing now. You don't have to worry, but I do want to see him because, it's all the thing of what if. And he's just like, yeah, that's okay. Because I know you love me, and I know that, like, you're not going to do anything, like, on it and throw this away, because I know we have a strong bond. And he completely supports her. He goes and meets the guy. He's like, hey, dude, and he's like, hey, and, And it's films like this that I think need more of the mainstream push. Now, I say that it has been nominated for a bunch of mainstream awards, but I think more people should see it. Like, I think it deserves the distribution that, like, these mega blockbusters get. Like, in a bunch of screens across the world, like, and not, like, in July, in feckin' America, and then in July in America, and then not until September in the UK. I don't know about that specifically, but I believe that it should be distributed across everywhere for everyone to see. Not just in select cinemas, where it only runs for 3 weeks, and then you wait a month and it's on streaming. I believe people should see these films in the cinema. Sorry. Oh, wait. Yeah, but I talk more about past lives in more greater details in another episode of the Triple Threat podcast. So if you want to hear that, you can please go do and stream my previous episodes. Now, number 2 is Barbie. Number 2, Barbie. Barbie was, I think, the encapsulation of the pop culture era of 2023. Like, from the beginning of the year when they released the teaser posters for it and everyone being like, "Hi Barbie," or "This Barbie does this," becoming a meme and everyone doing it, to Barbenheimer being talked about and memed about a couple of months prior to Barbie's release, to Barbie releasing, to rave reviews, incredible box office performance, to reaching $1 billion at the box office, becoming one of the box office smash hits, to saving cinema after COVID, to bringing people back in, to helping other films like Oppenheimer get a tremendous box office. Then to going down the line to people watching the red carpets, watching Margot Robbie, to watching the awards campaigns, to people talking about, oh, Barbie's going to be nominated for this and that. And yeah, I think Barbie was the moment of 2023. That, like, when you think of 2023, you'll think of Barbie, the film, and yeah. And just, and also starting conversations about certain things that maybe the Barbie film didn't cover, but now we're talking about it. Yeah, I loved Barbie. I talk about it in my other episode, like I said before, but I think Barbie was one of the moments and is one of the best films to come out of 2023. Yeah, I would watch Barbie multiple times. I'd watch it over and over again. And I think if I had I think that in the Oscars, I would like to say it's coming between Barbie and Oppenheimer, but I don't know. I don't think that's the case. I think it's between Oppenheimer and maybe Poor Things. But I think Oppenheimer is going to be the clear winner. Yeah, no, I loved Barbie. And just seeing the impact Barbie has on everyone positively has been, like, even seeing those stupid edits on TikTok of the "when did it end, all the enjoyment," whether it's a joke or whether it's serious, just seeing the impact it has on people has been so, like, heartwarming. Yeah. And my number 1 film of 2023 is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
the sequel to the 2018 film Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse. This film is what every sequel should be, and also this film is what every movie should be. To its stunning art direction and style and animation, to its brilliant voice acting, to propelling animation to the forefront of the cinema, to proving that this film is not just a genre, this is a legitimate art style, art form, to a brilliant story with a really good twist, to just building up your characters' stories, to closing them off. Like this story, I think we get to see the arc of Gwen Stacy. So the first film, we get to see kind of like an arc with Miles Morales becoming Spider-Man. We kind of see the arc of Gwen Stacy as Spider-Woman, with the whole thing between her and her dad, and then where does her loyalties lie? Does she want to be this hero for this? Does she know even what a hero is? And so I think her arc is beautifully capped off in this Across the Spider-Verse. Even though Miles Morales is a main integral part of this film, I think Gwen Stacy's arc is one of the center points of it. To the you know what, it wasn't as funny as the first one, but I think it then makes up for it with its dramatic acting and themes and seriousness. Like the scene, when Miles finds out that he is an anomaly, that he got bitten by the wrong spider from another universe and he's not supposed to be Spider-Man. So he's just like, okay, fuck this. I'm going home and I'm going to sort myself out. I have to save my dad. And the spider transforms him back to his universe, but it sends him back to the universe where the original spider came from. That part gagged me. And then you see in this universe, Miles Morales' dad dies, not the uncle. And you see Miles Morales as the Prowler. That was crazy. And I've never seen a film get such a visceral reaction out of people in the cinema. It was crazy. People were like, when people saw at the end and it finished and it was just like to be continued in Beyond the Spider-Verse, people were like, what the fuck? And it was so consistently good that even for me personally, it would still be number one on my list, number one throughout the whole entire year of 2023. Nothing came close to it. Barbie maybe came somewhat close to it, but yeah, I think this film shows that superhero movies are not just like a throwaway blockbuster empty hollow thing. They could be such serious drama and prestige cinema when it needs to be. A superhero movie with Spider-Man, I think it was one of the most acclaimed pieces of cinema of 2023. The critics absolutely loved it. They were like, this is brilliant. I think it's going to get nominated for Best Picture at the Academy Awards. You never know, but we'll see. Oh, it's just so good. And it's just so great when you see great animation like that. Oh, I loved it. Sorry, I'm just thinking about it now. I'm just thinking about watching it for the first time. If I could go back and rewatch that, blindly and not know anything about it, I would absolutely do it. just to watch it and just to experience that whole film again. Which I think is, if a film can do that, if a film can make you go, that was so good, I wish I could see that again, but not remember any of it. I wish I could forget that ever happened, watch the film again, and experience it again. That shows that you've got a good film. There's something special there. There's something very special there. 2023. What a year. What a year just for everything. Like, I saw, like, we just went through my top 10 list. I've also saw some great theater. I saw some great TV. And as a year, the first half of 2023, it was okay, I'll be honest. I was just kind of trotting along. But I will say, though, from August, or the other half of 2023, was like one of the best points of my life that I've ever experienced. The end of 2023, the second half of 2023, was fantastic. It was great. In life, in cinema, in everything. Yeah, no, it was... I really loved it. 2023, what a year. I would actually love to hear what your guys' top 10 of 2023 was. If you want to leave a comment or anything, or text me or the Triple Threat podcast Instagram what your top 10 was. I'd love to hear it. And so that is the end of another episode of the Triple Threat podcast. Thank you so much for listening. You can follow me on all social medias, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok. I am on Apple Music, Apple Podcast, Amazon Podcast, Spotify, Buzzsprout, wherever you want to listen to. Thank you so much for listening. Please subscribe. Please like and subscribe and share. I would really appreciate it. And thank you so much for joining me. That has been my top 10 films 2023. And I will see you next week with a brand new episode. Bye, everybody!